how many terms of the series 8, 15, 12, and so on, when added together, will give you the sum of 45. All right. So whenever they're asking how many terms of the series, what they basically mean is what we really need to find is the value of n, actually, right? So since we are dealing, when all of these numbers are added, we are getting a sum of 45. So we're dealing with the sum of the numbers. So we will use the SN formula basically to try and solve this sum, right? So let's look out for all the parameters that we can find. So if we look at this series or the AP given to us over here, I can see the first term is 18. So I'll start off by saying the first term, which is A, is equal to 18. And if I check, I can also find the common difference here. 15 minus 18 is negative 3. 12 minus 15 is also negative 3. So the common difference, D, in this case, is equal to negative 3, right? And in a way, they've told us that the sum of as many terms I'm taking is 45, because they've asked us how many terms need to be taken. So I can say Sn, the sum of n terms that they've given us, is 45, right? So I know the sum of n terms as well. So if if you guys recollect, the sum of n terms, the formula for the sum of n terms is equal to n upon 2, 2a plus n minus 1, 2a plus n minus 1 into d, n minus 1 into d. This is the formula that we would use here because we're dealing with a, d, and n, right? So now let's plug in all the values that we know. Sn we know is 45, right? N is unknown, so we'll leave that as it is for now. 2 into a we know is 18, so 2 into 18 plus n minus 1 into d. Again, n is unknown, so we leave that value there itself. And d we know is negative 3, right? So let's plug that in as well. Okay, so so as you guys can see, this is one single equation with one unknown n. If I solve this equation, I should get the value of n. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's simplify this a little. Let's take the 2 from the right hand side to the left hand side, so it becomes multiplication. So 2 into 45 is 90. This is equal to n outside, inside the bracket, 2 into 18 is 36. Minus 3 into n is minus 3n, and minus 3 into 1 is minus 1 is plus 3, so plus 3, right? Again, expanding this into the bracket, so 90. 36 plus 3 is 39, and then with the n over here, that becomes 39n, and minus 3n into n will make it minus 3n square. Okay, let's rearrange the term so that we can get so as you can see, we're getting an n square term, so this is basically a quadratic. So let's rearrange this quadratic in the standard form, or the general form of the quadratic equation. So I can write this as 3n square minus 39n plus 90 is equal to 0, right? If you see, we have a 3, 39, and 90 here, all of them factors of 3. So let's divide this entire equation by 3. On doing so, I get my quadratic equation as n square minus 39 upon 3 is 13, n plus 90 is, sorry, plus 30 is equal to 0. So we divide this entire equation by 3 to simplify it a little. Okay. Now this can be solved easily by splitting the middle term. So let's just quickly discuss what the factors could be. So it's 1n square into 30. So 1 into 30, that's going to be my product, right? So 1 into 30, which is 30, is my product. And two numbers multiplied should give me 30. And when I add them, I should get negative 13, right? Two numbers multiplied should give me 30, and on adding them, I should get negative 13. Those two numbers are minus 10 and minus 3, right? Negative 10 into negative 3 is positive 30. Negative 10 plus negative 3 is negative 13. So that is how I will split the middle term. All right, so we've got our factors. So this can be written as n square minus 10n minus 3n plus 30 is equal to 0. This is how we've split the middle term. So between the first two terms, I can take the n common. In the bracket, I'll be left with n minus 10. Between the third and the fourth, negative 3 is common. Bracket, I'll be left with an n minus 10. Split 0, so therefore n minus 10 into n minus 3 is equal to 0. So now we can use the zero product rule. When two numbers multiply, it gives me 0. Either the first term, which is n minus 10 is equal to 0, or I know that the second term, which is n minus 3, is equal to 0. Okay, so on solving the first part here, I get the value of n as 10, or if I solve this one here, I get the value of n as 3. Okay, so now both of these are natural numbers, and so both these answers for n are valid. So I get so this is actually my answer. The value of n is either 10 or 3. So if I revert back to the question, how many terms of the series when added together will give me 45? Either when I add 3 terms of the series, or when I add 10 terms of this particular series, I get the sum as 45. So that will be my final answer. Right? How many terms of the series must be added to get a sum of 45? Therefore, uh, either 3 terms or 10 terms must be added. This here is my final answer.